All right, it's Wrestling Uncensored time. Tonight we preview WWE Fastlane. Fastlane. Let's go. We are in the fastest lane. The lane that is fast from the WWE. Hi, John. Fastlane. The fastest possible wrestling show WWE could do, right? Right? It'll be like half an hour. In and out. 5 matches.
For now, right? Like, they might add another one. I can see that.
Still only 6, which is pretty good. I can handle that.
Do you remember Payback? How long was Payback? 6? And how long was that show?
Fair
You know
enough.
what killed that show was the promo segments. That's the problem.
I don't know if they've advertised any kind of promo segments for this one. We'll see what they do. We're here to preview WWE Fastlane. We'll talk about what we saw on SmackDown tonight. I got Rampage, AEW's Rampage in front of me. Matt Hardy's dancing for some reason. I think he just won a match.
They're all dancing.
Everybody's dancing.
They all
Matt
won.
Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and the best friends, Chuck and Trent,
Trent.
won a match against some fellas.
Well, against the former Jericho Appreciation Society.
Who was there? It was Menard,
Jake-
Parker. Was Hager there? I didn't see Hager. I didn't notice.
Yeah, I
was
saw Hager there.
getting ready for the
I
show.
saw Daniel Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
All
right.
there.
We got a lot to get to here on the show tonight. Of course, there's a lot of rumors about CM Punk coming to the WWE. WWE seemed to be fanning those flames as well. AEW and NXT in for another head-to-head battle. We thought the AEW Dynamite NXT wars were over. They are coming back for one night on Tuesday. AEW's got a pretty big Tuesday night Dynamite coming up, and WWE decided to counter with a massive episode of NXT for some reason that will include John Cena, Paul Heyman, possibly Roman Reigns, and The Undertaker. Yeah, that's right.
That's maybe.
Maybe.
on The Undertaker.
You heard the gong at the end of the thing? Bung. When the lights go out, you hear bung. That's Undertaker. They're going to bring out Taker on Tuesday, man. You think Taker's not going to show up after they play that sound at the end of the commercial? Why would he not show up? That's clearly telling you, hey, guys, tune in on Tuesday. You get to see Undertaker, which, you know, I was not sold on the whole NXT thing. I was like, nah, I'm going to stick to Dynamite, Edge. I want to see him wrestle. I want to see this. I want to see that. But then when I heard that, when the lights went out, commercial fades to black, and it's like, they're like, John Cena's going to be here in the corner of this guy, and we're going to see Asuka wrestle, and this is going to happen, and Paul Heyman. And then the commercial fades to black, you hear, bung. I was like, oh. No one told me Undertaker is going to be on this show. Now, I don't know, man. Taker's pretty cool. What's he doing there? What's the dead man doing at NXT? Is he
See this?
digging holes and taking souls? Maybe.
But you don't know. And that's the thing. You might not really see The Undertaker, or if you do see him, it might just be a pre-tape, though. Because it says, like, he's going to be at the Performance Center next week. It doesn't say when he'll be at the Performance Center, right? So it easily could be a pre-tape, which is nice, too. I mean, it's cool for The Undertaker to show up in some capacity, but it doesn't mean you're going to get to see him live, though.
One more match with Shawn Michaels tonight.
I think NXT is the wrong place for it, but it's just my thought.
I think it's the right place for it. Perfect time. Wow. I mean, they are stacking the deck. They got Cody Rhodes appearing on NXT to make a major announcement, but at this point, they've promoted Cody Rhodes making a major announcement so many times, nobody believes you. It's like, all right, guys, what does this really mean? Major announcement. The major announcement is I will wrestle next week on Raw. It's like, all right, cool. It's not major. He's like Tony Khan in that respect. You know? He's the Tony Khan of WWE. He comes in, he's got major announcements like every 3-4 weeks, and at this point you're like, well, it's not that major, so whatever. Whatever you got to say, just spill it and move on.
Well, the main thing, though, it's an appearance, though. That's the big thing. He's showing up on NXT, which doesn't usually happen, so they're trying. Like, you give them that. I think they realize, too, it's not just because Dynamite's on. It's also because Major League Baseball playoffs have started, and they know that's going to really hurt the ratings as well. Hockey started, too. So they really know, like, to get the audience, to keep the audience, they've been growing quite successfully on NXT. They got to put out a strong show for this.
I don't know. I like Dynamite, though. I think Dynamite's got a pretty good lineup for Tuesday night. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland for a TNT title shot. It's hard to beat. I mean, just that alone.
Wasn't Danielson supposed to be on Collision? It feels like they kind of sacrificed that this week just to stack up Dynamite, it seems.
So?
I'm just saying, like, I thought the Collision was supposed to be his show, but really the big match that he's in, I don't think he's even wrestling tomorrow. Like, really what he's doing tomorrow, I mean, what he's doing next week is going to be on Dynamite, not tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever. It's a special Dynamite. They got Danielson versus Swerve. They got Saraya defending the title against Hikaru Shida. They got Jon Moxley returning to face Rey Fenix in the rematch for the international title. They've got Edge versus Luchasaurus, and I know they're calling him Adam Copeland, and I'll try at some point, but we can call him Edge. They can't, but we can. He's Edge, right?
Call him rated R. Call him that.
Yeah, but can't I just call him Edge, John? Like, come on. Chris Jericho versus Will Hobbs. Hangman Page versus Jay White. Like, this is kind of a pay-per-view. That's a lot. You got a lot of big stars wrestling on Dynamite. Not promo segments, not major announcements. Wrestling. Jericho's wrestling. Hangman's wrestling against Jay White. Edge is wrestling his first match. They got Danielson and Swerve in a big match. They got Saraya wrestling. They got Moxley. Everybody's there. The only people not wrestling on this show are Kenny and the Bucks.
And they just said your buddy's coming back now. On Rampage, but still coming back.
Yes, I did see that. There was a commercial promo thing for Danhausen. He's been injured for a while. I guess he's coming back. Good. He's fun. But yeah, they have a big show on Tuesday night. And NXT does too. NXT has Asuka versus Roxanne Perez. Paul Heyman in the corner of Braun Breaker with John Cena in the corner of Carmelo Hayes. And there is talk that Roman Reigns may appear during that match. I don't know if he will. I think he's set to return next week. They announced tonight on SmackDown that Roman's going to come back finally. When's the last time we saw Roman?
I think it was the end of August.
Was it SummerSlam?
Well, SummerSlam was the beginning of August, and I think Roman came back after the fallout from SummerSlam. And then gone.
Okay. Well, Roman's going to come back finally next week on SmackDown. Maybe he'll be at NXT too. Maybe they just stack it even more. Cody Rhodes is going to be there making a major announcement. And again, they tease an appearance from The Undertaker. Pretty good. Pretty good. Thing is with AEW, when they want to bring in like big stars, like when AEW wants to stack the deck, all they have is their roster. When WWE wants to stack the deck, they could bring in like Undertaker or Triple H, who's going to make an appearance on SmackDown next week, or Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock. You know, like they have these icons that they can bring in from time to time. that AEW just they don't have at their disposal, right? Like it's a different type of thing because WWE is, the WWE. They've been around for like 50 years. Different thing.
Well, AEW has their legends. It's just different type of legends.
I mean, they got Sting. They got Sting. They got
Sting.
Edge. They got Jericho. They got Christian.
Bring out Arn Anderson. Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
I mean, not the same kind of level of icons as what WWE has, but
yeah. Are we having issues here, John? John, are you with me? Johnny's with me. I think we had a bit of a streaming issue there, John. Johnny?
I'm trying to fix it. I refreshed.
Yeah, I think you're all right.
Worked. Good now?
Yeah, we had a bit of a buffering issue, I guess, here. We're getting some questions here in the chat. This is a good time to answer a couple of questions. Farzana Islam says, what's your dream at Crown Jewel? Roman versus Cena or AJ? I think Roman versus Cena. That's got to be the bigger match, right?
Well, it's not the match I want to see. I mean, I guess it's a bigger match in terms of marquee, but I think the better match is Roman versus AJ without question. That was a phenomenal match, pun intended, when they had their first ever match in WWE. That was great. I'd love to see that again.
Yeah.
Roman and Cena, I do not want to see that ever again. But sadly, that's probably what's going to happen just because that's bigger name value.
Yeah. It feels like they're going in that direction, and it would be a pretty big match. It's always big. Leor wants to know, who do you guys think is going to be LWO's partner tomorrow?
I wanted it to be Hoovy, but it's probably going to be Carlito.
Really?
Oh, you didn't think so? Okay. Who do you have?
Dragon Lee?
I guess. Like, it's nothing really fantastic, but sure. It's not bad.
I don't know. You think they're going to bring in somebody for Fastlane? Like Carlito?
Well, I would love an original LWO member. You know, Juventud Guerrera can still wrestle, so why not? That'd be fantastic, I think. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But they signed Carlito like a month or two ago. He hasn't done anything. Did he come out with the LWO at one point?
In Puerto Rico, he was involved with them, right? In that match? Right. I don't think I've seen him since.
Like, I think he would help too, because, you know, Bobby's kind of big. Carlito's decent size. Like, a guy like Carlito would work better, I think, than Dragon Lee.
Well, Carlito would be cool. I didn't even mean to say that. That's ridiculous. Carlito's always cool, right? I mean, you better be cool. Do you know what cool is? You're looking at it. So I would like to see Carlito. That would be great. I always like seeing Carlito. I'm a big fan. Dragon Lee has been looking good. His match with Austin Theory tonight was not bad. It's amazing seeing Dragon Lee on SmackDown just wrestling Austin Theory. Because I've seen him wrestle in so many places for so many years. To just see him now in WWE, it's kind of like, wow, look at him. Look at him go. It's cool. Yeah. If they have Carlito under contract, I wasn't aware. But yeah, why not, right? But Dragon Lee's a good backup.
They got choices. They have options. I mean, it very well could be Dragon Lee, but I feel now is the opportunity. If you're going to use Carlito, now's the time.
Ryan Katz says, hear Hogan's latest lie about them wanting Nick Hogan versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 39.
Yeah. I saw Hogan said it was supposed to be his retirement match against Cena at WrestleMania 25. I saw that too.
Oh, Hogan. I love him. He never ends. Johnny North, when are you coming to AEW to fight Edge? Alex Terrace wants to know.
Well, I'd say probably never. But it's nice to keep dreaming.
We did see Johnny North in action as we were coming down before the show, the countdown there. Saw some Johnny North wrestling.
Clips, all that.
Some clips, some
like
highlights. Yeah, we should do a watch along of your match. Can we do that?
We could do that easily.
All right, let's do that.
But we'll go through everything else first, I think.
All right. Well, I don't. No, not tonight. Not tonight. I mean separately, like a different time. I'm not doing that tonight.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't have the video set up. No, I don't have it all set up. And the video that AJ took, isn't it like sideways? I wouldn't even be able to show that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's just do a Fastlane preview. How about that?
We'll go fast.
Let's go as fast as possible. Let's go as fast as possible. Okay, what do we have? Not too much. This is not a huge wrestling card. We've got Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It's a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena and LA Knight take on Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte in a triple threat for the Women's Championship. Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar with a mystery partner take on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest face Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the undisputed tag team titles. Where are Kevin and Sammy?
See, this is where I thought there'd be another match added. You just throw them on the show. Opening match. I don't think people would have a problem. You just put them against a random tag team. People would be all right with that, I think.
Like, they were a big part of the show, and now they're like not even...
Well, because they're feuding with Judgment Day, right? But Judgment Day's defending the tag titles, so that's the problem.
Everybody's feuding with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Right? Judgment Day did this big alliance tonight at the end of SmackDown. They aligned with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. LA Knight beat Jimmy Uso by disqualification when Solo attacked him. John Cena came out, tossed Solo out of the ring. Judgment Day came out. And it was Priest, Finn, JD, and Dirty Dom with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa on the ring apron. So that's six guys, right? 6 guys. Yep. Now, Cena was there with LA Knight. And then Jey Uso came out to back them up. And Cody Rhodes came out too. And the announce team was like, oh, it's evened up now. And I'm like, well, it's still 6-on-4, isn't it? It's 6-on-4. And somehow, the guys that were 4 won the brawl. They started beating up everybody. Everybody's just kind of flying around the ring. Jay does a dive. Cody does a dive on a pile of men. And then Cena and Solo face off in the ring. And Solo drops Cena. So LA Knight comes in and ducks the spike and clotheslines Solo out of the ring. And JD tries to attack LA, but LA hits him with his finisher. And now JD is going to be the pawn here to take everybody's finisher. Jey Uso hits him with a super kick. Cena hits the 5-knuckle shuffle and the attitude adjustment. And it looked like JD was going to roll out of the ring after that because you get the 5-knuckle shuffle and the attitude adjustment, it's over. But no. Cena kind of looked like he was telling him, like, hey, come back. You got to take Cody's thing. And then Cody hit him with the Crossroads to finish off SmackDown. So it was a big, attack, big babyface celebration at the end of SmackDown. But just to illustrate the point, like, all those guys, Cena, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, who's like the hot new thing on Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight, who's like the hottest thing in the company. They're all feuding with Judgment Day to a certain degree right now. So, I mean, Kevin and Sammy kind of got to take a back seat. It would have been good if they came out tonight because they could have actually evened it up 6-on-6, but that's not what happened.
Well, because only Cody said on Raw that him and Jay were going to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you say you're going to SmackDown, you can't just go to SmackDown, apparently. Because Judgment Day can do whatever they want. They said that. Commentary said it because they have tag titles, so they go to any show. Any number of them, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Kevin and Sammy can't go to any show because they didn't declare that they're going to any show. So I guess that's the rules to it.
Yeah. But what about Jey Uso? Didn't he quit SmackDown like a month ago? And now he's just on SmackDown again? The whole Jey Uso quitting and then being brought back to Raw, it hasn't paid off in any type of way. And it's just coming off like a weird offshoot of the Bloodline storyline. Like it's a spin-off that's not working.
I always thought it was a spin-off of the whole like CM Punk situation, how disgruntled employee can't get along with people. I thought they were kind of making fun of the whole situation, to be honest. But maybe that's how you see it too. I don't know. Maybe you see it differently.
I didn't really see it like that. I don't think about CM Punk through every... I don't see the wrestling world through a CM Punk lens. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, just how like he's supposed to be the face, but the faces don't like him kind of thing, and everyone has an issue with him.
But that makes sense,
just
though.
felt
It's his
like
history with the Bloodline. Like, he attacked them not long ago.
yeah, but every face pretty much has a problem.
Hmm.
Like except for Cody and I guess Sammy somewhat. Sammy's kind of stuck in the middle with Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it like a CM Punk thing, though. I don't know. I don't see Jey Uso doing a CM Punk character. He's not dropping pipe bombs, that's for sure.
No, he's not doing that. It's just the whole having problems with the locker room kind of thing. That's pretty much it. Character won't be the same whatsoever.
It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Jimmy Uso stopped Jey Uso from beating Roman Reigns because he wanted to stop Jey Uso from becoming like Roman Reigns.
Right.
Because he doesn't like Roman Reigns. But now, Roman Reigns has been gone for a while, and Jimmy Uso is like, hey, actually, I want back in the bloodline, and I hope Roman accepts me in the bloodline. Even though Roman, last time we saw him, was like, I'll give you cars and jewelry and all the fancy things if you will join me. You could be main event Jimmy Uso. And Jimmy was like, no, I don't want this. I will never want this. But now he's like, oh, yeah, I would love this. And now we're expected to believe that Roman is like, no, I don't want to give you this now, because it's the whole back and forth, Roman's going to come in. He's going to be all mad that Jimmy and Solo lost to Cena and LA Knight at Fastlane, and Roman's going to be all disappointed, and there's going to be hell to pay because Daddy's home and he's mad, Like, it's whatever. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of it is starting to lose the logic. Jey Uso kind of quitting and then just becoming a babyface on Raw for no apparent reason. He never explained why he quit WWE and why he decided to be back on Raw. I haven't heard a logical explanation from Jey Uso as to why he decided to quit and why he decided to come back like 3 weeks later. And Jimmy Uso doesn't make sense either. And they're the main guys carrying this whole story forward right now. And Jimmy Uso's thing makes no sense. He stopped his brother from becoming like Roman. He hated Roman. Roman's gone. And they're like, oh, actually, he wants to be with Roman and Solo again. It's like, what? Why? Last week he didn't want to be, and now he does? Because his brother kicked him and quit? Is that it? Because his brother kicked him and quit. He felt abandoned, so he had to, what? It's weak, It's thin. The Bloodline story used to be kind of a meatier thing that had logical points. And now the plot points are a little weak.
I think you're going to wait till Roman comes back, and then I think they'll try to make it all make sense in the end. But until that happens, it's kind of just, well, this is what you get in the meantime, because we have no one else to face Cena and LA Knight, so it's got to be Jimmy and Solo. So once we get through that, then Roman comes back. then it'll all be sorted out, I think.
It's going to be tough to figure out how it all makes sense. They'll try. They will try. CM Punk. Is he coming to WWE? It seems like he is. It really does. It seems like Punk is coming to WWE. He's going to be either debuting or at the pay-per-view in Chicago, Survivor Series in November, which is next month. They keep making references to CM Punk. Corey Graves on commentary tonight when talking about the Seth Rollins-Shinsuke Nakamura match. There's always kind of hints dropped with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, so it seems like they're building something there. Corey Graves said the greatest trick the devil played was convincing the world he didn't exist, which is something that CM Punk has said many times, and MJF has even said himself in reference to CM Punk. And now Corey Graves drops that line on SmackDown, which was absolutely no accident. They are foreshadowing, they are teasing the return to the WWE of CM Punk. He's coming back to the WWE. I'm pretty damn convinced of it. And it is so crazy. It's so nuts. Because he hated wrestling. He hated WWE. If you look back at his first promo in AEW, like he's like, I'm finally back in pro wrestling. I left pro wrestling when I went to WWE. The company almost killed me. It was terrible for me. Like, he was just clearly quitting wrestling because he hated WWE so much, and AEW brought him back. Now, AEW pissed him off so much that he's willing to go to the WWE out of spite just to stick it to AEW. I think that's the main reason he's doing it. Just to stick it to them. Because he didn't want to go to the WWE before. He didn't need the money. He didn't need this. He didn't need that. He didn't need to wrestle. And now he's going back because AEW made him mad. He's going to stick it to them. And I'm all for it. He's going to make WWE way better because he's a top talent in pro wrestling. He's the hottest free agent in pro wrestling right now. Clearly. There's nobody bigger than CM Punk that's available.
I agree with your free agent comment. Doing it out of spite is the main reason. I don't think it's pretty much because of that. Like, I mean, spite's nice and all that, but I think it's just the main reason is because he still has something left to give to wrestling. He can still do this for now, so take advantage of that while you can. And I think there's nowhere else really he could do it. It's got to be AEW or WWE, and AEW, that's been burnt. And WWE, hopefully that can actually happen. I'm still have my doubts in a sense because we talked about this off air. Like, he did ruffle some feathers to some people who are currently there. So I don't know. That whole him and AJ Styles, that was never worked out. And he said some things about AJ Styles. I don't know if just saying I'm sorry is going to cover it,
Yeah.
That's kind of rough.
But, people have not liked other people in wrestling before and have coexisted. I know it seems like a foreign concept these days, but it can happen. And, Punk went backstage to the WWE not long ago when he was on his injury, hiatus, sabbatical, whatever it was from AEW after the brawl with Kenny and the Bucks. His first backstage fight in AEW that we know of. He went to WWE and he went to a show and he was backstage and he was talking to people and he was on a bit of an apology tour, and I think he was trying to make amends with some people and also test the waters for a potential run there. And
right.
I think he's willing to do business with whoever will do business with him. And I think in WWE, there's more of a culture of you do business with whoever we tell you to do business with. Where in AEW, it's kind of like, well, there's some leeway there. But in WWE, it's like, no. You listen to me, and this is how we're doing it. And if you don't like it, you can leave. You know? Or you can, worse, just job to everybody and get your stock just completely destroyed. AEW doesn't really do that to people.
Well, no, because they kind of gave him 2 contracts. Like, he was also an employee there, so it was a little bit different with Punk. But I think in WWE, they're going to realize that it's probably not worth it to have CM Punk versus AJ Styles.
Mm-mm.
The money's not really there for that, for what their issue is. It's not something that you can really build off of. So it's better just to focus on what you can. Like, Seth wanted this match with Punk for years now. And that was the main reason why he pretty much said all that stuff about Punk, because he never got the match. And Punk kind of told him, stop, tweet on the internet, it's getting you in trouble kind of thing, bashed him a little bit. And then, Rollins said it back. However, if Punk's going to go there for business, we've seen it with Seth before. He had a problem with Riddle. He was willing to do business with him afterwards too. So, like, that's kind of worth it there. With AJ, like, it's best not to touch that if you don't have to.
I mean, I would go wherever it made sense with CM Punk in WWE for as long as it works. I would go with him against Seth, with him against Cody, him and Roman. There's a lot there.
Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Steen. There's a lot of history with Kevin Steen. So.
Yep. It's a lot of good stuff you could do. If CM Punk does return in November at Survivor Series in a one-on-one match, should it be against Seth Rollins? Who would you want to see him wrestle right off the bat?
Well, because he's still the real World Heavyweight Champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why that seems to be the target, Seth, because he's the World Heavyweight Champion too. So have the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. I'd rather it be Roman, because Roman's the true champion, but I guess we're not going to do that, sadly. So that's fine. Just do Seth first, I guess. I'd like it to be Roman eventually, but if we're going to do Seth, do it, I guess. I don't think it's the biggest match for Punk, though, and it's better maybe do it now, so then WrestleMania you can have a bigger match with someone like Cody or Kevin or Roman. Probably won't happen with Roman, but Cody or Kevin would be fantastic.
I'll tell you, though, Roman's belt, Roman is the real champion and all of that, and that's been established. This World Heavyweight Championship kind of made out of nowhere. It's the Raw belt. It's whatever. But if you add CM Punk into the mix, who is the lineal AEW World Champion, never been defeated, the real AEW champion. Say it again?
Probably still has the title, too.
Right. I mean, I don't know if he could bring it on TV, but, he could make a claim at being the real world's champion or something like that. Like, there are things he could say, and if you just bring that into the mix, all of a sudden you add a lot of credibility to that World Heavyweight title, because whoever wins that match is not only World Heavyweight Champion, but also the AEW World Champion. In a way, And wrestling fans can look at that and go, well, there's a claim there,
Well, it brings me back to when Ric Flair came in, was it 91, 92, and said he was the real World Heavyweight Champion kind of thing. They never pulled it off with Hogan, but the idea was there to eventually do that. And now they can do something like that.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. There's obviously real heat between the two. Seth Rollins said some things about not liking Punk on a personal level. It's pretty good. It's a huge get for the WWE. Massive. And if they could make it work and the locker room is cool and everything is fine and CM Punk doesn't fight people, I think it'll work out great, right?
I hope so. I mean, we'll wait and see. There's also another wrinkle to this little story that I believe it was Dax that trademarked CMFTR recently. Maybe this week it happened. So that got more speculation about what FTR is going to be doing in the future, possibly now.
Didn't they just sign like a several year deal with AEW?
They did, yeah.
So, what was that about? Wasn't that real? That happened.
Yeah, but we've seen this before with people apparently sign like long-term contracts. Like, didn't Logan Paul like sign like a long-term contract with WWE, and like he comes and goes as he pleases, like not really like wrestling all the time, like wrestles when he wants kind of thing. So there might be a whole lot of it.
John, you can't compare Logan Paul to FTR. I mean, what? There are two different stratospheres of.
I'm just saying, wrestling contracts, just because it says, oh, it's long term, doesn't mean it lasts long term. Bret Hart, 20 years, that didn't last 20 years.
So you're saying FTR signed a contract with AEW and somehow they're going to get out of it and go to WWE with CM Punk? How would that even happen?
Stranger things have happened, that's all I'm saying.
They're the tag team champions right now.
And who are they facing next pay-per-view?
Young Bucks.
In California?
Young Bucks.
In California? So this could be the send-off, maybe. Who knows?
Why? Is Cash going to jail?
You never know about that, too. I mean, have you heard anything about that? Who knows?
No, I have not. Just asking. Shotgun Cash. Okay. So CM Punk, exciting. Jade Cargill. There's talk about Jade possibly being at Fastlane, being on Raw starting Monday. Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
I
wouldn't put her on NXT, right? Bring her right up to the main roster.
I agree, but what she's doing on Fastlane, there's only a SmackDown women's match. There's no Raw women's match.
I don't know. Just a rumor. But maybe she'll just be at Raw. Who knows? Maybe she just comes out to do a promo to say that she's awesome.
Well, Cody's there, so yeah, she could do that. That'd be fun. Yeah.
So, Jade Cargill, big signing for WWE, now possibly CM Punk. Crazy. They're going hard. So WWE Fastlane, let's get right into it. Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It's a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight title. Seth is going to win, obviously. I saw a thing where Damian Priest was going to cash in at some point on Seth. Maybe not tomorrow. The pay-per-view's tomorrow, by the way, not Sunday. Damian Priest was going to cash in on Seth and not win. And then Judgment Day would just kind of disown him after that. Seems kind of weak. But that was the deal with Rhea Ripley, right? She told Dominic, she was like, Dominic, you win that North American title back or you don't come back to the Judgment Day. And then he went to NXT and he won the North American title that he lost at their No Mercy show.
Yeah, but he's still tag champion, though. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if he loses the briefcase.
Tag champion for now.
As long as he has something, like, it shouldn't be like, oh, you're out of the Judgment Day kind of thing. Like, if anything, he's going to lose the tag team titles before he tries cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase, I think.
What if he does both on the same show? Fastlane.
Yeah, maybe they'll lose tomorrow. Who knows?
I mean, we'll get to that match in a second, but Seth freaking versus Shinsuke, I mean, the match could be good, last man standing, but I just don't care about it. Seth is obviously going to win. This feud is playing out over a few weeks now, months over Raw, and it's like, They had me for one match. But 2 matches, 2 straight shows, I'm not into it.
I mean, the matches are all right, but we've seen this numerous times now, it feels like. And like Payback was just okay at best. It was the main event, and it didn't feel like a main event match.
Nope.
And now with this, I mean, backyard wrestling always helps make matches better, but I feel like you've seen it all with these guys, so it's not really going to add too much.
I don't think they'll main event either. I think the main event will be John Cena and LA Knight. Yeah. Against Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Cena should close the show. It's John Cena.
Well, it's the bloodline too. So, I mean, they're the major stars in WWE. They're the best storyline, the most interesting characters in all of WWE. So they should main event. I agree with you completely. However, I could easily see the title match main eventing though.
The Seth Shinsuke match main eventing over John Cena.
Because it is a tag match with Cena.
Yeah, but again, it's the bloodline, LA Knight.
I agree.
I think Cena and LA Knight will beat Jimmy and Solo. I think Jimmy will take the fall.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Just falls into place like that. It's going to be what you expect, pretty much, this match. It's going to be pretty simple, but it's what people want to see.
My question is, I think Jimmy for sure is going to get pinned. My only question is, does LA Knight pin him or does John Cena pin him? Because they are kind of gearing up Cena for a Roman Reigns match at the Crown Jewel, so maybe Cena does it, but LA Knight is on fire right now. I could see them giving the win for LA. What do you think? Who gets the win?
I mean, it should be LA, I think. But what you're saying makes sense too. If Cena's getting the title match against Roman, that also makes a lot of sense. However, like he's still going to be around for the next couple of weeks, so he doesn't need to get the pin going into, I think it's going to be Crown Jewel, they're going to call it in November. So I think LA should get the pin.
Yeah.
It's only his second big like pay-per-view, third maybe, if you don't count the battle. If you count the Battle Royal, I guess third.
Yeah.
So third big premium live event match. It should be him. Because you're eventually building him to get a title shot against Roman too.
Yeah.
He needs it more.
I think you're right. I think it should be him. I hope it is him. Cena doesn't need it. Before we get to EO, let's get to that Judgment Day match. Finn Balor and Damian Priest defending the WWE Tag Team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Jey Uso's pretty good at tag team wrestling. Cody Rhodes needs something, and he doesn't lose very much. It's hard to beat Cody. It's hard to beat Jey. Unless you have a screwy finish. Even like I don't think you pin Cody or Jey, even with a roll-up off a distraction, off a ref bump, off interference, off anything. I don't think you pin Cody or Jey right now. So the only way Cody and Jey walk out without the belts is a disqualification or count out or something like that, which sucks on pay-per-view, but it's not the main event, so they could get away with it. But it sucks because people are buying tickets. It's a premium live event. Cody Rhodes is on the show. Like, you want a clean finish in your Cody match if you're a paying customer in the arena that night. You're not going to be happy with a DQ finish on what's supposed to be like a major show. It's a premium live event. It's not just a regular show. It's premium. I think Cody and Jey win the belts. I think they do. They just kind of put themselves in a corner where I don't see how they get out of it unless they do like a DQ or count out finish, which I think just sucks. And why not give the tag team belts to Cody and Jey? Like, cool. Cody's been the guy bringing Jey Uso in, and he He's been sticking up for him and all of that. They seem like they're buddies. Make him tag team champions. You know? I think it makes sense. I'm going with Cody and Jay, new tag team champs.
Well, it's funny because like I find with these premium live events, there's always like one surprise kind of thing where it's like you're not really expected. And the last time it was Judgment Day winning, wasn't really expecting them to win. So I feel like this is now them to lose as well. Like they'll lose, I think, to Cody and Jay. Like you said, Cody doesn't really, and again, could be a DQ, and I wouldn't be surprised if DQ as well because it's a cheap way to get out of it. But I wouldn't be surprised. But this match should be one of the better matches, I think, on the show. I know we've kind of seen these guys wrestle a lot, and it doesn't make a lot of sense that Jay's getting a title shot, considering I don't think he's won a match on Raw yet. But whatever. You know, it's Cody. They want to give Cody a title, give him something to do in the meantime. I think this is it. Something good for Jay, too.
And it keeps Cody tied in with Roman Reigns by teaming with Jay and a potential match with Roman down the road. I think Cody and Jay as tag team champions makes sense. And you say Jey Uso, why is he getting a tag team title shot? He's like a 1,000,000-time tag team champion, right? He's won the tag team titles like 1,000,000,000 times with his brother. I think putting him in a tag team title match is always fair. Fair enough. He's an Uso.
Just always give New Day tag team title shots.
Exactly.
Because they won so many times.
That's what they've done.
I know, but it's... I mean, they kind of make it... They have to earn the shots, usually. Like, they have to feud with the Viking Raiders or something, or some sort of tag team, usually.
It's the same in real fighting, man. Like, if Conor McGregor wins one fight, they'll give him a title shot. It's not fair, it's not right, but, you know, he's kind of been there, done that, he's a superstar. They kind of rush you up to the main event. Some people get rushed into the main event, get title shots, even in real fighting, John. So, when they do it in pro wrestling, I go, yeah, that's fine. Nobody really earns a title shot, you know? They're given title shots.
It's a little ridiculous, but yeah, some people don't have to earn the shots. It's true.
Well, John Cena won't have to earn a title shot against Roman Reigns. He'll just get it because he's John Cena.
To be fair, he is undefeated since he came back, wrestling 2 matches.
And he will remain undefeated at Fastlane tomorrow in Indianapolis. Io Sky defends the WWE Women's Championship against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. I think Io will retain. I think the match will be amazing. I saw it at a house show about a month ago when they did their show here, and it was very good. It was a very, very good match. It was match of the night on that card, and I'm looking forward to this. I think they'll have a great match. I like the tag team match tonight, Bayley and Io against Charlotte and Asuka. I thought that was a pretty good match on SmackDown tonight. Fun to see. Big names in that tag team match. Like, it was solid, too. The finish wasn't the best, but...
Oof.
The match was good, but that finish was like ooh, a little clunky, right? Yeah.
Usually they show you what happens in the end. Nope. We're not going to watch that again. How bad that was.
It was like there was too much going on. You know, like Charlotte accidentally booted Asuka when Bayley got out of the way. Like Bayley ducks the boot, Charlotte boots Asuka off the apron accidentally, and then Bayley rolls her up, and then Bayley tries to put her in a figure 4, but she has to kind of wait around for Io to get on the apron and to look at Dakota. So Io gets in place, and then Charlotte then kicks Bayley, and Bayley bumps Io off the apron, and then Charlotte hits kind of the natural selection that didn't really work, and then she pinned Bayley.
That's a 3.
Yeah. No. The finish was not good. But up until that point, like, they were doing good, you know? It was a good match, but I was like, oh, it didn't work. Didn't work.
I mean, the finish is the part you remember the most about the match.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good match, but
I was enjoying it so much, you know? I was enjoying it so much that when it came time to the end, I was like, ah, you know, it's like, it's too bad. But you're right, though. The finish is important. The finish is important. It's like watching a movie that you're enjoying, and then you get to the end, and you're like, That's the ending?
Yeah.
That happens so often, right? You're watching a movie and you're like, oh, okay, they could go somewhere with this, and okay, where are they going with this? Where? And it's like, oh, that's where they went with this? This is a shit movie. What the hell was I watching? You know? Happens.
It's too bad. Because like you said, it was a good match.
Yeah.
A lot of great action back and forth, but yeah, that finish, I don't know what happened there. It's too bad. And the
I
problem
think
too is the whole
yeah,
distraction stuff. Like they get too boggled up in that kind of thing, and that you see it in every match. And I feel that's what kind of hurts a lot of the matches. They're too focused on that we need a distraction here at this time to do like this, and this needs to be stuff like that, and then we can go into the finish there. Just make it more simple than this. Just there's someone there, whatever. They look at them or they try to hit them, and then just turn around, finish. Like not this finish there, distraction there, hit another finish there. Like it just turns into a mess. It's happened many times over and over. It kind of happened too with Ray and Bobby a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in that Ray Bobby match, right? Like
it just
the
takes away
Street
from the
Profits
finishes.
started beating up some of the LWO guys, and then Ray did a dive on the Street Profits, and then he came back in the ring and ate a spear from Bobby. And I mean, that was not as bad. At least the spear looked good, and it kind of made sense.
Yeah,
but
but like,
it's overcomplicated distraction outside the ring finishes that sometimes work, and sometimes they're just like, eh.
and like the match is stopping because there's like brawling on the outside. Like everyone in the ring just stops and looks at what's happening. It's kind of ridiculous when you're watching that. It's like, well, there's an actual match happening here, but everyone's just going to look over there because there's action happening here. Like the match isn't really important anymore. And it's kind of ridiculous when you see something like that.
Yeah. You got EO retaining?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it makes sense because they lost again this week. I mean, they've been losing a couple weeks now, Damage Control.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll win at Fastlane. I don't think Io loses until she faces like Charlotte one-on-one, I think.
Do you think Priest cashes in? I don't think he does here because I think Seth will win and he'll be fine and he'll be standing, and it's last man standing, so Seth has to be standing. So I don't think Priest will cash in on him.
He might tease it, but I don't think he'll actually do the cash in.
Hey, whatever happened to Raw trading somebody to SmackDown for Jey Uso?
Yeah, apparently that happened or is going to happen.
Did they give up on that?
Yet, but
I feel like they've given up on that. I think they maybe were going to do it. They haven't figured out, because they said, yeah, somebody will go to SmackDown now because you guys brought Jey Uso to Raw. And then we're like, okay, when? And they're like, it'll happen. So clearly, like, they didn't know who it was, because if they had known, they would have just done it and put somebody on SmackDown. But they didn't have anybody in mind, so they just kind of left it as a card that they can play whenever they need it, when they decide, like, this isn't working so much on Raw, it'd be a lot better if we can move this person over to SmackDown. And that's really what it is. It's just kind of an out in the booking when you decide to shift the talent over from one show to the other, for storyline purposes. But they could also just forget about it, which, they stop mentioning it for a few weeks. People will forget, and it just will be a thing of the past. And I am starting to wonder if that's not what's going on here. I feel like we're never going to get that trade from Raw to SmackDown. I'd be willing to bet.
Well, they might just wait till Survivor Series, because that's usually like a Raw versus SmackDown kind of situation. And then you have someone from Raw betray the Raw team. And
they don't do that anymore.
SmackDown all along.
They don't do brand supremacy anymore. That didn't work. They stopped that. Now it's like, factions. They got so many groups now, they're going to do group, gang rules.
Well, that's for like War Games, yes. But I mean, for other
they're doing
matches,
War Games at Survivor Series, right?
Right, but not every match is going to be War Games. Like, that's the main event. It may be like a women's one, right? They'll do that. But like for the other matches, like I could see a Raw versus SmackDown kind of situation. I could see it being like Io versus like Rhea.
I think Survivor Series is now Survivor Series War Games, and they don't have traditional Survivor Series matches anymore. They didn't last year.
Well, but I'm saying you could have like a champion versus champion kind of situation. You could have like Rey Mysterio versus like Gunther.
Yeah, but they stopped that too. They didn't do that last year.
They didn't, but I mean they could do it again now. Why
Yeah.
not?
I think they'll probably put Cody in the War Games match, right? That'll be cool. Cody in his first ever War Games.
Against Judgment Day, like I feel like it's just endless, so why not?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure. Okay, and what else do we have on this thing? Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and a mystery tag team partner, maybe Carlito, maybe Dragon Lee, maybe neither of those guys, take on Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. 6-man tag on Fastlane. I think LWO probably win, get revenge, because Rey lost on SmackDown. And they're going to have a mystery partner, so that usually means you're going to win.
Well, that's it. It better be a good, unless the mystery partner sucks. But I think if it's going to be Carlito, which I think it's going to be, they should win if it's Carlito showing up his debut or re-debut.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's WWE Fastlane. We'll be on here tomorrow night, right after Fastlane, to recap the action.
Won't be 5.5 hours, thankfully.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that long. I think it'll be all right. All right. Shifting over to AEW. We had Rey Fenix with a win over Nick Jackson in the opener on Dynamite this week to retain the TNT title. That was a decent match.
It was a good opener.
Yeah. And then Rey Fenix versus Jon Moxley next week in a rematch for the belt. I feel like Moxley will take it from him, right?
Probably. I mean, if he can wrestle, like it makes sense. He wasn't supposed to lose, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Wardlow returned to Dynamite and squashed Griff Garrison, who also returned to Dynamite. But Griff got squashed, and Wardlow hit like 5 power bombs. The ref stopped the match, and Wardlow walked off through the crowd. Different vibe from Wardlow here.
I guess
All
more
right.
of a heel kind of thing that he's trying to do. I'm not sure exactly, or just because he beat up a babyface, so I feel like, and he beat him up without any mercy.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of felt more like a heel, but that might get him more over possibly as a face. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with Wardlow. I feel like he got a babyface reaction. People like when he powerbombs people, right? They like those power bombs from the big guy. Then we had the Adam Cole, Roderick Strong comedy segment thing that at first didn't even have audio. Apparently it was TBS's fault. You had no audio for it, right?
No, I saw this live. I saw Dynamite live, and I had audio, so I had no problem. Yet they said they had no audio, so I had to see it again. I'm like, no.
But the audio was messed up, wasn't it?
No, for me it was fine.
Oh.
It was only on TBS, but on TSN it was perfect actually. So I just had to watch it again, sadly, and it was so bad the first time. I like walked out of the room, like aired again.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to air that again. It was so bad. It was really
Terrible.
not good. Roderick Strong whining to Adam Cole, making him do things for him.
I mean, we hate it, but unfortunately, a lot of people like this stuff. I have no idea why people like bad television, but apparently people like bad television like this. People like the Adam Cole, like friendship angle stuff, and like I find it's okay in the ring, but when we do these little skits and it's ridiculous like this and just makes everyone look like a moron, like I feel like a moron watching it.
Yeah. No, it's embarrassing. It's really bad. The whole Adam Cole, Roderick Strong thing. Yeesh. I don't know. Some people like it, but not us. The Acclaimed and Father Butt beat Kip Sabian, Butcher, and The Blade in a match that happened. Dynamite was not that good this week, right?
I mean, it had ups and downs. I mean, the opener was all right, like you said. Then that fudging Adam Cole thing that I had to see twice, that was a downer. And then the Acclaim thing wasn't anything special, but I felt once MJF came out, it kind of picked up a bit.
It took a little while, though, because then we had
took a while, yeah.
Pre-taped Toni Storm promo where she just seems completely out of her mind. Timeless Toni Storm is her new name now. Bryan Danielson. Yeah, I guess. She's gone back to heel, which is so weird, the Toni Storm thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I like it, but I don't like
I didn't like it this week, to be honest. Yeah.
I didn't really like it this week, yeah. I have liked it, but this week kind of jumped the shark. Bryan Danielson cut an emotional promo after the match about Zack Sabre Jr., and then Zack Sabre Jr. says, "Oh, knocking me out, that was a dastardly move, Bryan." He's kind of saying like, "Oh, you didn't really prove you're the best technical wrestler in the world because you hit me with a strike, then you knocked me out, you didn't make me tap, or you didn't pin me." So Bryan's saying it was a great match, and it meant a lot to him, and Zack Sabre's like, "Yeah, you beat me, but did you really prove that you're the best?" So I think it opens the door for a rematch, which is cool. I thought that promo was good, though. Short and sweet. Did what it needed to do.
I just thought it was weirdly edited, like, because it ended with Bryan saying, "Oh, you have no heart, you don't have discipline," or something. Like, it was just like he was showing respect, and then suddenly he's all angry out of nowhere. It's like, that was a weird jump cut right there.
Maybe it was in reaction to what Zack Sabre had said.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's weird when you're watching it like that, though. Like, he's all calm and like, I show respect to you, and then, "Oh no, I'm angry at you because apparently what you said." Like, it was how it was edited was very weirdly done.
Then a Hangman promo about the loss to Swerve happened, and he's saying Swerve cheated, and it seems like maybe there's an open door for a rematch there. And then finally we had Juice Robinson and the Ass Boys with a promo in the ring. They made fun of Adam Cole, said he's soft and injury prone. They said MJF is the people's scumbag, and they mock his line about tofu, saying that was the best he could do. And they also blame MJF for the attack on Jay White last week. They say that it was MJF who attacked Jay White and MJF's goons, and it was all him. And MJF comes out, and he calls the Ass Boys, and he calls Juice talentless taint. Which, I don't know. The little... everybody's saying LA Knight's trying to be like The Rock. Like, man, MJF, he's trying to be like The Rock right now, but not The Rock, like more the Dwayne. And it's like, it's kind of cheesy, man. Like, I'm not loving this tofu and say it with me now and chant here. It's like, dude, you're not, that's not you. And like, it's the babyface MJF, and it's like, coming off like a wannabe Rock, but not like 1999 Rock, like 2010 Rock. Different. Not as good.
It's more like 2023 Rock, because you said the whole, this side says this, and this side says this.
Yeah, which is what The Rock just did on SmackDown like 2 weeks ago. You said this is where the show picked up, John? I don't know. I didn't love this from MJF.
I still thought MJF had some good lines, though.
He says he would own up to the attack if it were him, because he's done some terrible things in AEW, so why wouldn't he admit that he attacked him, but it wasn't him? So MJF still claiming he didn't attack Jay White, so maybe he didn't. And he wants a fight with the guys, and then Jay White shows up from behind and hits the Blade Runner on MJF before holding the AEW title belt and walking away with it. And then you cut a promo on the stage challenging MJF to a title match at Full Gear, which MJF accepted. Did Jay White steal the belt? Did he walk away with it? Did he leave it on the stage? I'm not sure.
I think he stole it, is what it seems like for now.
Okay.
But that's the match we needed too. Jay White versus MJF. Jay White hasn't lost yet in AEW, and he's beaten some pretty top names, so it makes a lot of sense. That should be the main event.
Former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, top guy, excellent wrestler. Should be a great match. Should be really good. And honestly, I think it would surprise a lot of people, but I could see Jay White being the guy to just take the belt off MJF here. I could see it.
I don't know about this one. If you got another shot, yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's kind of been the deal with his whole career. Like, he wins and you're like, what? He's the champion? That's kind of what he did, like a lot in New Japan, where it's kind of like, oh, it's Jay White and Okada. Oh, Okada's going to beat him. Wait, what? Blade Runner? 1, 2, 3? Like, Jay White's won some big matches in his career, and I would not be surprised if he beats MJF. Because he is a mega star, and if you have a big win like that right off the bat, that shocks people and builds Jay White, like, you could do a lot with him. There's a lot of upside going forward with Jay White, and I think a title run right now would put him on a level where people take notice, which is what New Japan did with him. They kind of made him champion so people kind of looked at him as a main event player. And right now, I think they look at him as a mid-carder, but he's a world champion. All of a sudden, he's on that level. And I don't know if people in AEW fans are seeing Jay White as that main event guy, legit threat to anybody on the roster, can beat anybody on the roster type of guy. But if he just beats MJF, then people take notice. MJF's had a pretty good run with the belt. I wouldn't mind seeing it continue, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jay White take it from him either. I think it would make a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. You know, we'll see.
I think the main problem is that Jay White, although we've seen him on AEW pay-per-views, hasn't featured in big matches, really. He was in like a 6-man tag at All In. Was he even at all? I think he was in like a 8-man tag at All Out too. So like, when you're going for the world title, what big single match has he had on pay-per-view? I think this is his first one. So that's the problem. It's really like, not going to disrespect the fact that he's a great wrestler. He can have great matches, but they haven't built him that he's going to be the next big guy.
And I think that's kind of more reason to give him the belt, because it would be more of a surprise. And it would also elevate him to that spot right away. It would get him to where he needs to be without building him up, you know? I don't think you need to build him up. He's got that group behind him already. It's a ready-made deal. I like Jay White a lot. He's very, very good. So is Kenny Omega. Kenny and Chris Jericho teamed up as a tag team, and they beat Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. I was like, what's Kyle Fletcher doing here? Where's Sammy Guevara? And I'm still not sure. No, I didn't see
the promo.
I guess I missed it.
Yeah, Don said earlier in the show that Sammy wasn't cleared after Wrestle Dream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's
it? But where was he really? Is his wife about to give birth?
Wasn't cleared to wrestle. Apparently he got actually hurt.
Oh, really? That's real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real. He wasn't cleared.
Oh, okay. So they had Kyle Fletcher instead, who lost after taking the one-winged angel from Kenny. Don Callis was on commentary, blamed Fletcher for the loss, and basically said, like, well, this guy's not welcome in the Don Callis family. But you know who is? Powerhouse Hobbs. He clotheslined Jericho and Kenny from behind after the match. And then Hobbs and Takeshita beat up on Kenny and Jericho. They tried to duct tape Kenny to the top rope, but the duct tape wouldn't stick. It looked horrible. They were struggling with duct tape for a while.
Ruined the spot, really.
It ruined the whole thing. But then to save it, Don Callis smashed Kenny right in the head with a steel chair. Like right in the head, and dented the chair with Kenny's head. There's no faking that. Real chair, real head, real dent. Boom. Don Callis. I guess Kenny figures if he trusts anybody to hit him in the head with a chair, it'll be Don. But damn. What a shot.
Now, commentary immediately said, like, oh, something like that. He thought that something like that would have died, like, in the era of those kind of things. Yet, we've seen this happen in AEW before, chair shots to the head. It's like, whatever did you live in, Excalibur? Because I think you were in the same one.
It happens. Once in a while. People get hit in the head. The big thing, it's part of life.
They had the big thing with Cody, remember? That was a huge thing when that happened.
Yes, and didn't they gimmick the chair somehow? But they didn't. He didn't get hit right, and his head was all bloody. Right, there was like a horrible chair shot. Right, who hit him with that?
Yeah, that was Shawn Spears.
Right. Yeah, they crushed Cody with that chair shot.
And then they're like, "Oh, these kind of things should never happen. Like it's a error that's been lost." I'm like, "You're in the same era, but whatever." Like,
yeah. Big chair shot there to Kenny Omega. So they got Powerhouse Hobbs now with the group. So who's in the family? They got Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay sometimes. It's pretty good.
It's not bad. I mean, Hobbs helps add something to it because Ospreay's not there that much. He's only there for special occasions, so it's good to have people there almost every week.
Gives Hobbs something to do too, right? Puts him on TV. Gives him a reason.
Quite the upgrade. He was in the QT Marshall job squad. Now he's in a much better group.
Well, they canceled that QTV stuff, right? That's not on anymore, is it? Do they still do that?
I think they kind of mentioned it on Rampage a bit, but that just goes to show you the level that it's at. Like, it shouldn't be what Will Hobbs is at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to see Will Hobbs doing something a little bit more meaningful in AEW. Timeless Tony Storm beat Sky Blue. And then Tony at one point was like counting us down, telling us we're going to commercial break. And then we didn't go to commercial break right away. And Tony was like, we're going to do a titty slam or something, or titty chop or
titty slap.
Titty slap?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she thought she was on commercial when she said that, but she was not. Everybody heard her say titty slap. Good job, Tony Storm. She beat Sky Blue. It was a match that happened.
Wasn't a very good match, to be honest. Like, I wasn't impressed, but why are we going backwards with this Tony stuff? Like, we already kind of done this kind of, this is what she is. She's kind of crazy now, but now it's like we're reintroducing it because we're adding Timeless, and now it's a brand new character when it's actually the exact same character we've seen for over a month now. I didn't understand this whatsoever.
I didn't like it either.
I like Tony Storm, though.
I like Tony Storm.
She's fantastic.
Yep, she's great. The gimmick is cool. I feel like she's playing that lady who's in who lives in the same apartment as Kramer when Kramer moves to LA. She lives in the same apartment building. She's like she's like a former actress, and she's that type of a overdone Hollywood, like old Hollywood type of person. Gone bananas. Anyways, it's a good gimmick. It can work. She's good in the ring. This match was not great. The promos this week were not great. This was not the best week for Toni Storm. But I have faith that, she'll do well because she's excellent. We all came to see one thing on this show, and it was Edge, the rated R superstar. And could they hire Tony Chimmel just to do the entrance for Edge?
I didn't hear Justin Roberts do it. Like, I imagine he did an all right job, though.
Yeah, but Chimmel is the best at it. And, I was watching this on my PVR, John. It was recorded.
Uh-oh.
And because they ran that Adam Cole, Roderick Strong brilliance twice, the show ran overtime, so my PVR cut off the finish of this promo. Thankfully, AEW realized a lot of people like me would be pretty mad that we missed the only thing worth watching on this stupid wrestling show, so they put the whole thing on their Twitter as soon as it ended. They were like, let's post this whole promo, which they don't usually do, but they're like, yeah, people are going to be mad that they didn't see this. So I saw it. I did see it immediately. I was like, AEW! I was mad as soon as I was like watching the show. I was like, all right. And then it cuts off. I was like, you idiots.
I was worried watching it live. Because I'm like, it's 3 minutes left. Edge just started talking like, oh, fudge.
Yeah.
This is not good.
My feed cut out when Christian came into the ring. I was like, this is just getting good.
It's hilarious.
Oh, God. And I just cursed AEW. I was like, you idiots. You had to give me that stupid thing. You botched the audio once. You run it again because you're incompetent. And then you put your show overtime so people watching at home, recording it, don't see the best part of your whole show that everybody's there to see. Like, what? I was so mad at AEW.
Didn't Fred last night say it was your fault, I think? Because you don't know how to do your DVR or something? Like,
whatever. It's not my fault. AEW always ends within like 3 minutes after the show is over. It's always not this week. Speaking of Fred, congratulations to Fred. He got his purple belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu tonight. So congrats to Fred. Very happy for Fred getting his purple belt. So he's moving up. He's moving up in the world, Big Freddy.
Catch up to AJ eventually.
Well, next stop, Browntown, AJville, right? AJ's a brown belt, and that's the progression, right? It goes white, blue, purple, brown, black. And Fred just hit purple. So next stop is the brown belt for Fred. Pretty cool. I got to get my purple belt. I got to catch up to Fred.
I thought AJ was going for it. Wasn't AJ going for his black belt?
Well, I mean, he's not. I don't want to speak for AJ. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure what he's doing. But AJ's a monster too. We all do things, We all do the things. I'm at 10th Planet there doing jiu-jitsu with Fred. Rolled with Fred today. AJ's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Johnny North is a great pro wrestler. We saw him wrestling. We're all out there really doing the things that we talk about, A lot of people out there talk about things and they don't do anything. But we actually do the things that we talk about. And you can tell some of the people that don't do anything just by how they look, some of them, A lot of these guys that talk about sports, the problem is when you talk about sports or like we talk about a sport or, any type of sport talks, you got to sit around and watch a lot of stuff. Like Johnny North and I, we got to sit around and watch a lot of stuff, To become an expert on things, you got to do a lot of sitting around and watching, right? And that's not really conducive to athleticism or being sporty. So you got to work extra hard, right? But not everybody does that.
You count it as like studying in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I watch UFC stuff. I go, oh, that's a nice move. Let me try that. I watch Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson. I go, oh, those are nice moves. I could try that. Those would work. That's how good that match was.
One of my favorite moments of my match from last week is just watching your son watch me do moves and like, oh, I could do that to you, Dad, and then he does it to you. Like goozles you. I'm like, yeah, that's good. I like that.
Well, he loves to goozle me out of nowhere too. You just get a little hand on my throat. Oh, 6-year-old paw goozling me for no reason. He's a monster. All right, Edge. What?
It says cute.
Yeah, he's adorable. They both are my little monsters that I have walking around my house.
Little bears.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. My daughter is going to be 1.5 years on Sunday. 1.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she's getting so big.
Fast.
It's crazy. Yeah. She is something. All right. Edge, he's got some daughters too, and he talked about them.
2.
Yep. And they told him, go to AEW and play with Uncle Jay. And Uncle Jay, of course, is Christian, Captain Charisma, the man with all the peeps. And Edge cuts a promo. The fans are chanting Adam. He said he's never heard that before, and he likes it. And he mentions Moxley and Kenny and Miro and Hobbs and Jay White and Juice Robinson as potential opponents. He calls out Christian. Christian comes out. He says he loves Christian but can't bear to see him like this. Standing over Sting, who used to be his hero. How could he do that? Sting. You love Sting. And Edge says, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne, they're going to drop you as soon as they absorb all the knowledge that you have, and they're going to leave you. It's time, Christian. It's time to team up and show the world that we're one of the greatest tag teams ever. I want to retire together as a team. And that was a moment. It was a speech from Edge that was just beautiful. It was something. I had chills watching this thing. I was like, ooh. Goosebumps, baby. That was good.
I like the Judgment Day reference. That was good.
I didn't even catch a Judgment Day reference.
You just kind of said it right there. Like, these guys, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, they're just there to take your knowledge, absorb it, and then they'll turn on you. Like, exactly what happened. Like
the Judgment Day did to him. I see. Okay. So Christian then hugs Edge after Edge delivers that beautiful speech. And then he says something that was censored, but I assumed it was go fuck yourself, and I saw the clip, and it was go fuck yourself. Maybe if you have a punchline for a promo, don't have it censored. Maybe you don't say fuck in the punchline of your whole bit. I don't know. That's just me.
When I saw it, kind of seeing it live, like, it was censored, but it was kind of late censored, so you could still tell what he said. So it wasn't too tough to understand that. And it's always nice to hear things after the fact, but the point got across. And to me, it didn't really ruin the moment because I could tell what was said, and the crowd obviously reacted correctly to that. So, and this was a great callback to, I think it was SummerSlam 2011, where Christian called out for Edge to help him and then hugged him, and then Edge is like, I don't like you, I'm walking out on you, and Christian was left on his own. So that was great how they did that.
And then Christian goes to the stage, and Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne come out, and they stand there with Christian. And these are Christian's new guys, and he doesn't want any part of Edge. And, I think Christian has some good stuff to say back to Edge when he finally does respond with a promo. Christian's doing well. He's a TNT champion. He's got a group of guys that he likes. He's mentoring. And this is different for Edge. Edge, in a way, is in Christian's world. Christian was in AEW before Edge. Christian was an Impact Wrestling World Champion, where he has history with Sting in Impact Wrestling, history that Edge is not really a part of in any type of way. Edge has never been in the ring with Sting. Christian has. Christian's got a whole history with Sting that Edge just kind of ignored, saying, oh, you used to love him when we were kids. Well, what's the story? And Christian could go, well, actually, I know Sting. Unlike you, I actually know him. I've been around him, and I don't like him. Sting's kind of a dick, or whatever. Sting, I understand you have a father, and I assume, given how old you are, that your father is dead. Right? I mean...
Well, wait until he gets to Edge. Like, Edge, you never knew your father.
Yes. And hey, if Bryan Danielson beats Swerve Strickland, he gets a TNT title shot against Christian.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Rough for Bryan.
Yeah. Because that was like a big thing, right? Like, that's been a thing. Bryan's father, also dead. It's another one I swear Bryan Danielson is going to beat Swerve, and he's going to wrestle Christian only so Christian could do that promo. I think they are lining up every wrestler with a dead father to wrestle Christian right now.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it works. People want to see this right now. It's the hottest thing they have going, to be honest.
Christian's so good. He's doing so well for himself. Why would he team up with Edge? He's a TNT champion. He's a single star. And Edge has never been outside of the WWE. He doesn't know what it's like. Christian, this is his world. He was big in Impact. He's big in AEW. He knows how to navigate these waters. This is Edge's first time outside of the cushy confines of Titan Towers. There's a lot for Christian to go off on here. And I'm very much looking forward to it because, as we saw this week, Edge can talk. Edge can cut tremendous promos. And when he's not fed, like, overly dramatic, candlelit nonsense, when there's real personal issues there with people that he knows, you can do some good stuff with Edge. Edge can really get in there and entertain a crowd and captivate an audience. So I was very pleased with that closing promo from Edge and Christian. It was very good. And Christian, he's on another level. He's one of the greatest of all time. And I know...
he's always been.
Of course, he's always been. And I know a lot of people would go Edge over Christian, but I think you would agree with me, John, that I would pick Christian over Edge. Like, I prefer Christian. I love them both. I think they're both, two of the greatest ever. But I'm a bigger Christian fan. I think Christian is a better all-around wrestler. In the ring, on the microphone, everything. Captain Charisma.
I feel like we've said this for years, though, that Christian is the better wrestler, but Edge is the bigger star. Because he was in WWE longer, he had the bigger feuds. He was in the WrestleMania main events, big matches, and Christian had a good run in WWE, but nowhere near the kind of run that Edge had. So that's the thing that hurts Christian, is the fact that his WWE run wasn't as successful as Edge's was. But yeah, I completely agree. Christian, in terms of wrestling, Christian's definitely better. I think Edge will probably say that too. But because of who Edge wrestled and the big main event matches that he's had, people will always look at Edge as the bigger star. I'd say promos are about, they both have positives to their promos, so they're both very good at promos.
Yeah, Edge is a bigger star. I just prefer Christian's work. Jason Pete in the chat. Shout out Jason Pete. He says, Christian is just a better wrestler. Edge has the looks. I could see that.
He had the looks. Now it's about even, but
Vince hated Christian's look. He wanted to replace his face with a blue dot at one point. He thought Christian had a terrible look. And I think that's what hindered him in the WWE. But outside of WWE, the guy was a world champion. And he was a great champion in Impact Wrestling. Oh, AJ's on the chat. What up, AJ?
Did AJ hear about that, I guess? Is he going for his black belt?
Yeah, AJ, are you going for the black belt? There was some talk. I don't know. I don't know what AJ's doing. I mean, he's working, but I don't know if AJ's going to his place there, his main gym. But he's got some injury, I think. How's AJ doing? Saw AJ in the chat. I see Jimmy James. I see Jason Pete. I see Ray Cruz. Jason Pete wants to know, when did Edge go to AEW? That's how much I watched the show. It hasn't been long. It's been like a week, right? He was at the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view last Sunday. That's when he debuted. It's been like 6 days. Hasn't even been a week, right? So hasn't been that long. But I think he's made an impact so far. Pretty good promo there with Christian, and he will wrestle the Luchasaurus coming up on Tuesday Night Dynamite. It is a Tuesday night. Do you know why it's on Tuesday night and not Wednesday? Is it baseball?
Probably because of baseball, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think hockey, too. It's the season opener Wednesday.
And that's on TBS?
Sometimes it's on TBS, yeah. Though I think TBS is for baseball more so, I think.
Yeah.
TNT, I think, gets more of the hockey.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves baseball on TBS, I would expect. It's the home of the Braves.
Possibly.
That'll be a
yeah,
TBS.
Makes sense.
Atlanta. Well, Braves game makes sense. You got to bump Dynamite for Braves playoff baseball. I know that. Braves went to the playoffs enough times in the 90s over the Expos, and I can't forget about those Atlanta Braves. Seeing them in the playoffs again, it's like, look at them. They're back at it. Okay, Edge versus Luchasaurus. Edge will definitely beat Luchasaurus on Dynamite. How about some of these other matches coming up on Tuesday night? Chris Jericho versus Will Hobbs are going right at it there. I think Hobbs gets a win over Jericho here.
It's kind of quick, but yeah, a lot of shenanigans. But yeah, Hobbs will get a win.
Yeah. Yeah, Don Callis family shenanigans. Hangman Page and Jay White. I think this will be a big Jay White win on his road to a title shot. Yeah.
Yeah, if he loses here, that's really rough. But yeah, I think he'll win.
And that'd be 2 high-profile losses for Hangman in a row. The loss to Swerve and then a loss here to Jay White. I think Jay White will also cheek to win here. I think he'll have some of his Bullet Club guys so you don't make Hangman look too bad by taking a clean finish to Jay White. Like, he's got to get cheated out of the win a little bit, right? You got to preserve the Hangman.
Hopefully he doesn't get booed again. I don't think he will again, but didn't look too good when he got booed.
Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. Winner gets a TNT title shot. Ordinarily, I would think maybe you would give this to Swerve, but because Christian is the heel champion, feels like Bryan Danielson is the move, and then we'll get Bryan Danielson versus Christian for the TNT title, which, like, no offense to Swerve Strickland, he's great, but I would really like to see Bryan Danielson versus Christian. Have they ever wrestled one-on-one?
Oh, I imagine it's happened before. I can't remember right now, but I imagine it happened in WWE at some point.
Maybe. I don't know.
You can look that one up.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember a time. Oh, here's one. SmackDown, July 2013, and Raw, February 2014. Both matches.
Raw too. Wow.
Both matches seem to be about 3 minutes long, each.
Wow, I'm not saying they were big time feuds, but yeah, they definitely pass each other. Probably some tag matches too.
Was it? I think I've actually seen them wrestle in a match together. Weren't they in that Money in the Bank?
Oh, maybe they were.
I think they were
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. I think they were in Money in the Bank, let's see, 2013. I think they were in the same match, which was like the greatest Money in the Bank ladder match lineup of all time. It was in Philadelphia. it was Randy Orton winning the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Great.
In a match with Christian, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Rob Van Dam, and Sheamus.
It's pretty good.
Name a better Money in the Bank lineup. Like, that is pretty damn good.
I don't know if I can name
CM
a better
Punk,
lineup.
Daniel Bryan, Christian, and Rob Van Dam with Randy and Sheamus on top of it. Like, man, that was money. I was at that show, too. I saw that. I was there.
There may have been better ladder matches, but lineup-wise, that may have been the best.
Ooh, that match was really good, too. Like, that match was crazy.
I imagine.
The only thing bad about it is that Randy won.
That's the best part.
I wanted, like, Daniel Bryan or CM Punk to win, you know? Or RVD. Or Christian. Or Sheamus. Literally any one of those guys except for Randy. I didn't want Randy to win. I was like, nah, Randy won't win. It'll be one of these cool guys that are in the match. But no, Randy won. And I was not happy about it. The match was great. The lineup was great. The pay-per-view was great. But Randy won.
Well, Punk had already won twice at that point. I think Bryan won once as well. So it just made sense that Randy would finally get it.
Yeah.
That's what had to happen.
Yeah.
Destiny.
Jason Pete calling AJ out. He says, come on, AJ, you were a brown belt when I was a blue belt. I'm brown belt now. Get your act together, AJ. Whoa.
Wow.
Shots fired, Jason.
Shots, yeah. Ouch.
Oh, that's good. I feel like, though, the journey from, well, I don't know. Blue to brown is not easy. I mean, that's some years that it's going to take to get there for sure. But brown to black is like, that's years, and then to get promoted to black belt, it's like, it's a serious thing. Takes a while to get there. But
if he has an injury, it might be kind of tough.
Yeah. And AJ's also like 98 years old, so he looks amazing for 98, but it's tough. It's tough. He will get there, though. I believe AJ will be a black belt. But Fred may be a black belt before AJ. Just saying. Fred is shooting up the ranks. Got his purple belt tonight. Fred's going to get there. Maybe I will, too. I mean, it'll take a long-ass time, but maybe one day. All right. How about Saraya versus Shida? Saraya's not dropping the title to Shida. Please.
I don't think so, but a competitive match at least I think is going to happen.
Okay. And still, where's Britt Baker?
I mean, she wrestled, what was it, Statlander 2 weeks ago?
At least. I feel like it was more than 2 weeks ago. Wasn't on Dynamite again this week. Not on Rampage tonight. Doubt she'll be on Collision. I'm starting to wonder.
I think you'll see her come back. It's just they don't have anything for her right now. I mean, they have limited women's storylines because there's only so many people that can be on.
It's weird. And last week you were telling me, oh, Britt's not around because Adam Cole's hurt and da-da-da. Adam Cole was on the show this week, but no Britt.
Well, Adam Cole was in pre-tape, though. That's kind of different, though.
Same difference.
Not the same thing at all, actually. Apparently, Adam Cole, that's going to be a while. He's going to get, like, screws put into his leg. Like, that's rough, man.
Oof.
Just for a hop like that, you get screws put in. Like, people should never jump off the ramp ever again.
It could have happened jumping off the apron, too.
Yeah, it's true, but
like it's a jump off a platform. He landed bad. He could have happened jumping off the top rope into the ring, off the second rope into the ring. Like, it could have happened off anything. I think the real problem was, like, because he's running down this steep, slippery ramp, and he never stops the, like, awkward run to make the jump. like he does this weird run that's like obviously awkward. It's not his fault because of the ramp the way it is. And then he just jumps, and he never kind of, if he would have stopped and then jumped, I think he would have been fine. But just, he was already in a weird motion, and it just kind of carried through and busted his ankle, and now he'll be off for a while. Ray Cruz is saying Britt took time off to help Adam Cole for recovery. That may be so. So why is Adam Cole doing a pre-tape and not recovering then? If Britt's taking time off, how come Adam Cole's doing pre-tapes? Bad pre-tapes, like, too.
Yeah, bad. But I think you'll see less of Cole once he finally gets surgery, though.
And if he's out for a long time, how long does MJF keep those Ring of Honor tag team titles and defend them by himself? At a certain point, you're going to start to wonder, like, what's the point of having Ring of Honor tag team titles? Because if MJF beats every Ring of Honor tag team by himself, why should that division even have belts?
Yeah, but it's just Ring of Honor, though. I mean, do you really care?
No.
So, it's fine. He can just do whatever he wants with that. I just don't want it to be on the AEW pay-per-view. Do that in Ring of Honor. Just keep it off the AEW pay-per-view.
All right, well, we will be back here tomorrow night right after WWE Fastlane. The fastest lane coming to you live from Indianapolis. We'll be on right afterwards to break down all the action. I want to give a shout-out to everybody tuning in here tonight. Leor, Ray Cruz, Jason Pete, and all the friends, all the members over at join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net. Thanks for bearing with us through some of these technical glitches we had tonight. Hopefully everything goes well. After Fastlane tomorrow night, John, do you have a match coming up you want to promote? Or?
It won't be for another month or so.
Okay.
Nothing yet, but stay tuned.
All right. And go check out the Ringside Report Instagram at Ringside Report if you want to see Johnny North's latest match. I was there. AJ was there. We were all in attendance this past Sunday at Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling. Go check out some Johnny North action if you have not seen it already. Go check him out live in person when you get the opportunity. It is quite a show. Quite a show. And yes, we got the new website going over at ringsidereport.net. A lot of new things going on right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.